Actor Chris Hemsworth may be best known for playing Thor, but in his new movie, Rush, he had to shed that superhero physique to fit into a race car. Hemsworth plays James Hunt, a star in the 70s world of Formula One racing, whose rivalry with fellow driver Niki Lauda extends beyond the track.
You complained and your team have always leaned on the authorities. Now we've had to rebuild the car and it's become a monster.
At least it's a legal monster.
So you've had to resort to cheating.
You're driving an illegal car and call me the cheat? It's pathetic. Rules are rules.
Yes. And rats are rats. Thank you. Thank you.
I really enjoyed this movie, Chris. And you know what? Sometimes I was rooting for you, and sometimes I was not. Is that what was interesting about the role, that there was not an obvious good guy, bad guy?
Yeah, there was. At the very beginning of shooting, I said that to Ron. I think we all asked the same question about, you know, where our legion's supposed to lie here, and who's the good guy, who's the villain, who's the bad guy. And that was what made it interesting. You know, the true story of these guys was on and off the track. They were incredibly contrasting and contradicting and pushed each other to heights I think they wouldn't have got to otherwise.
Of course, Niki Lauda is still alive, but your character, James Hunt, passed away. Did that make it more challenging to try to understand where he was coming from?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah, it would have been great to obviously have him here, and I would have loved to have met the guy. But it's meant sort of from a distance I could do my research and look at many interviews and biographies and what have you, and create, you know, my version of things. This is how you check your emails.
Okay, this was not what I expected from a hacker movie. Chris Hemsworth, good morning.
This is the way we check our emails these days, isn't it? Yeah.
You've introduced the butt-kicking hacker into our society.
New version of that, yeah.
The movie's called Blackhat, which is a term in the hacker world. What does it mean?
There's a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker, and the black hats tend to exist in the criminal side of things and the illegal activity, and the white hats tend to be part of the defense from those individuals.
And in this movie, you kind of are like a converted black hat,
yeah,
right? A black hat who turned white hat?
Yeah, he exists on sort of both sides, and his moral compass is a little skewed at times. But he's pulled out of prison by the government and offered a deal, a reduced sentence, to catch an individual who's causing all sorts of chaos around the world.
We talked to a lot of actors on this show. We hear all about transformations they make for roles. So maybe they gain weight, maybe they lose weight, maybe they learn a skill like singing or piano. You're a new one on me. You had to learn to type.
It was typing, yeah. I had the Hunt and Peck style of typing, which is pretty aggressive and unappealing. But then had to develop more fluid movements on the keyboard, and then understanding code and writing code. And it was like being back in math, computer science class in school, which I wasn't overly skilled at.
Chris Hemsworth, that Aussie star we know from movies like Thor and the Avengers, is reprising his role as Eric, the Huntsman. While that accent was a bit distracting, I managed to plow through, and I started by asking him what it was like taking on the character again.
There's one time we were caught up in the net together. This was a long, long time ago.
Are you know the hero of every story you tell?
Well, that's because I'm very brave.
This time round, it was much lighter in tone, and there was a greater sense of adventure. First film, he was very depressed, darker sort of character, whereas this, we see him as full of hope and love.
It tells the story of Queen's sisters Ravenna and Freya as they battle for total control. While Huntsman Eric and his love Sarah fight for freedom.
Emily, Jessica, Charlize, did they make it hard on you just being in the girls' club, or how did that all work?
Oh, look, I think there were times when I felt bullied, but they'll tell you the opposite, I'm sure. No, it was great. It was like having three sisters. But all have such a great sense of humour. You know, it's kind of one of the funnest sets I've been on.
Men in Black International. The popular franchise is returning, this time with Chris and Tessa starring as agents on a mission to protect the world. And they are tackling MIB's biggest threat yet, a mole in the organization. Take a look.
Shouldn't we call it in?
Oh, God, no. The paperwork is a nightmare.
I haven't seen that before.
Come on!
too. They're so funny, and I think a lot of people are wondering if this is this a prequel? Like, will we see Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith? Like, how does this fit into the whole Men in Black world?
That was the appeal for us, was to not do it a remake or a reboot. It was just an expansion of what had been done so wonderfully before. And as you say, it's a global feel to the film. That we went to Italy, London, Morocco, Sahara Desert, Paris, then back to New York. And the Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith characters still exist within the ether of this, Men in Black universe. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of coexisting.
We're work colleagues.
Yeah.